episode is one of those conversations if you're listening to while you're checking your bank apps, you're convincing yourself Starbucks is a mental health experience, which for me, if you know me, it is.
Yes.
Because I will have 5 coffees from the latest coffee shop, and then as soon as I'm done, I'll drive right to Starbucks and get my daily fix.
Of
In other
course.
words, we're saying we're fine in a tone that even you don't believe. Well, this episode is for you because we're not broke, but we're also not okay. And that ties in perfectly into hopefully my kids saying that the bed is broken is not true because I'm not going to be able to buy another one for a very long time. How are you
Yep.
ladies doing?
Oh, girl. This is gonna be, I feel like a twofer or maybe like a three-part, like, or a Netflix saga. Cause
75 segment.
how do we cram all of this into 45 minutes? There's no way. It's just so, at least for me, it's it's been so much of little, financial, hey. So it's been so much of little financial things that you just kind of have to grind your teeth through, and you never.
Wait, stop. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
you're back.
Okay. All right. So I'm excited for this episode, to say the least. How about you guys?
I feel like this episode is going to
I wish I was a
speak
little more
to a lot of people.
excited.
Oh,
Oh.
It's
I
just
wish I
hard.
was
I
a
think
little
it's
bit
very
taller. I
taboo.
wish I
It's
was
like
a
something that
baller.
we don't really um it's kind of hard to like really discuss finances with so many people. I think sometimes a lot of people don't really feel comfortable disclosing all that information. And so I think a lot
Yeah.
gets lost in that translation because not everybody has that knowledge. And I think that's one of the things that keeps us from maybe growing our, I don't know, our money, our investments, or being able to manage our finances because it's not something that a lot of people talk about. So, as
Mm-hmm.
excited as I should be, it's hard. It's hard to open up and be like, dude, I'm broke, you know, like,
Yeah,
or hey, this is where I struggle with my money. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but
I
we'll do it.
mean,
We're
I don't
doing it
care
live,
because
guys.
I'm like, I don't care
Do it up.
because, I mean, it happens, right? Even though you have like a really good job and my husband has a very good, you don't have to be like, oh, this is what I make, blah, blah. But, my husband makes a good living enough for us to come to San Diego. But, of course, coming over here, literally lost my job the day we moved here, things here and there to try and make money. I don't know if I should be offended or not because my like OnlyFans for my feet profile didn't do so good, so I don't know if that should be offensive or if I should be like, "You know what, girl? Don't take it personal because maybe, like, people didn't like your toenail color or something." I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I decided to, just freaking well, for one, I signed up for Instacart and, like, it's really hard to get those, like, it's so, like, competitive. You literally have to be in the parking lot, like, waiting for a freaking alert to come up. The ones that are kind of okay is, like, Uber Eats. I tried that a couple of times, that was interesting, to say the least. And, like, Eric gets so mad, he's like, "Why are you doing that?" But it's like, you know what? Like, I've never asked, as we've been together for 13 years, I've always worked. I've never had to be like, "Hey, give me money." And of course, sometimes, yes, I do, because he's my husband, like, me tiene que dar. But it's not that I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna tell me no." It's just that it's just not, like, in my personality to do that. Like, he will sometimes just put it in my account because he's gonna be like, "Girl, like, I already know you, eres bien terca, like, you're not gonna ask." And he's like, "And I know you're with the kids all day, and they want Starbucks too, and they want this and that." So I feel like even though this episode is like, it touches on finances and stuff and it's a sensitive subject, I feel like it's real and a lot of people are gonna, relate to that and appreciate that we can be open about it. Because I feel like there's always an opportunity and a way to make money, like whatever it is you choose, I don't judge, you know? And so
That's because 'cause
it's
you've
like
always been
we don't
like a
we
hustler.
don't
You've
judge.
always had a hustler
I mean, we judge a
mentality.
little.
Girl, like,
Like,
if we let you, you'd pimp us out. Like, that's just the way that you are. Like,
girl,
you're a
look it.
hustler. Like, you just make
It's what it is.
I could be like, "Oh, look at this. It's like a beautiful thing," and, like, "Oh, we could sell these." So, like, we for
Yes.
everything.
Sure.
To
Even when you
me,
guys came over to eat tamales, you were like, "Girl, you can sell these."
yes,
And I even Amy was like,
yes.
"Why do you always sell everything?"
Because to
It's
me,
like
there's always a
automatic.
way to make money. Like,
Yeah, it's a
even if
pure spirit.
I'm gonna sit here and make, like, paper dolls, and Imma sell that shit, and I'm gonna market it, and I'm be like,
Yeah.
"Girl, we can make money out of it." I mean, hello, we're doing this podcast because I eventually wanna monetize this podcast for us so we can, freaking not
Yeah.
have to go to
Right.
an 8 to 5. So
Right.
please
See,
subscribe.
this is okay. Please subscribe. But this is the thing with me. I don't I don't have that hunger, that drive to chase money. Like I'll chase it just far enough till I can like live comfortably, and then I'm like, "Ay, la chingada, go get it, go get it." Wow, it's so important. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I disconnect. It's not enough, and I mean, it sucks that I'm so dependent on it, but also I do live comfortably. I don't need for all these all this stuff that other people need for, which is a whole other section, right? But but I also feel like I don't know, I just it's difficult. It's difficult for me to find that drive that everybody else has to it seems like everybody else has to like make that dollar, you know? Like I'm just
A
can I just
dollar
sit
make it
here?
messing with my money is like messing with my
I know.
emotions.
You're definitely messing with my emotions, but I'm just not chasing it, or maybe not long enough. I don't know. I just lose it, you know?
It's just
I
really hard. Oh, go ahead, Smelly.
I will say that, like, I think it's very generational, I think that, like, our ability to hustle comes from people that were grinding and definitely fucking lacking the money to kind of survive, and us getting out of that fucking survive mentality really pushed us and drove us to kind of better ourselves or to improve our financial situations in whatever way we could, because we didn't want to fall on those types of crutches, and we didn't want to fall into those like loopholes of like being dependent is what became a slap in our face of like money isn't fucking everything. And the more that you get, the more
No,
fucking
yeah,
I
problems that
know.
you have and the more that you
Yeah.
fucking need.
Yo.
I'm in a
for
position, I
sure.
think now, where I'm trying to strike that balance. And I'm also
Mhm.
trying to be better at my spending, because from that liberty of and freedom of like, hey, I have fucking money now. Like I'm living comfortably, and my bills are paid, and I got a little bit of money to spend.
Mhm.
There was really no um learning experience from the people that were around me to show me, hey, you need to set yourself up for your future. Or you need to set yourself up for fucking
Oh,
retirement. You need to set yourself up for fucking
that.
healthcare later. It Our parents and our grandparents, they were just like not thinking about that shit. They were just trying to live every
We're
fucking
paycheck to paycheck.
day. Right.
Not
Yeah.
even that,
Paycheck
but,
to
like,
paycheck,
there's
just
even
trying
the
to
school
survive, trying to
systems,
feed
though.
everybody. Um, a lot of them didn't have school, either,
Mhm.
so like
Right?
they were just trying to like do what they could. But now seeing them struggle, like, hey, um, Social Security isn't paying out enough. Oh man, now I have to pay this much for my health insurance, and I need my health insurance. Um, what am I gonna do in 4 or 5 years when I tap out my savings? That kind of shit. That I think is putting a lot of things into perspective for me, on how
Mhm.
I shift the way that I handle my money, like big time. So
I
maybe it's
I
not
made
so
a
much of
hard
a
look at
hustle
like right.
to like you know,
No,
"Oh, I wanna get cash, I wanna get money," and that's all that matters, but it's more of like, what are my priorities and how do I wanna redirect that energy so that I can not just live comfortably now, but set myself up for, like, generational fucking wealth. Like, I
Mhm.
want
right.
me to be comfortable, and I want the people after me to be comfortable. Basically, I don't wanna be put in a retirement home.
Girl, I will not. If your kids put you in a
Girl,
retirement home, I'm gonna go get you and be like, "Tráeme a mi comadre, tráiganme a mis comadres." Like,
my
no.
Quiero
my
como
retirement
live-in
plan
caregiver.
is to like hide away into the woods and like just die out in there. And like that's my retirement plan because I don't know where the hell I'm gonna get anything like a retirement fund really. Even working all of these years, I don't have enough for a consistent freaking nurse. God, dude, my back better not give way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I have to get to the end of my life with still working full
Mhm.
time,
Yes,
you know,
basically.
and that's what my retirement plan is to take care of myself long enough so I can work myself to the grave. You know, like what the fuck. So that's why I'm doing this podcast as well. But
Yeah, it's hard,
but it's
like
definitely
like, I just it
Where
just
did you say you
surprises
posted
me
your
that
feet?
girl, I posted
why
my
did it say
feet on here, let me tell you what it's called. I think it's called,
girl, let's make it a
Like
group session. Let's figure that
feetfinder.com or
out.
something like that?
yes, feetfinder.com because it was the most legit one. I even reached out to some guy that liked my picture and I was like, "Hey, like, I'm new to this foot
You're like,
business,
now give
like."
me an honest critique.
No, for reals. I'm like, what is it that guys
No.
on here like to see? Because there's tons of categories. Like that's like can be another episode in itself, which it probably will be. But yeah, I need to work and I'm gonna need a toe marketer or some shit. Like I'll figure it
let's
out. I always
let's just keep
do.
going with this podcast and see how that goes.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm just surprised that, like, when my sister started working at Wells Fargo, she started doing classes, like, financial classes at the high school. Like, she had to reach out to the high school and be like, "Hey, I work at Wells Fargo. Can we do, like, a presentation on basic shit, like how to, set up a bank account and
Open
then
an
kinda help the kids
account,
set up
yeah.
accounts," and just kinda talk to them about, like, well, this is kinda what you expect. Obviously, it was like a short, presentation, like what much can she do in a certain whatever teacher would let her do that in a classroom. But it's
Mhm.
just crazy to me how they don't have something like that. I think my nephew said they have something similar, but I said, "Well, what do they teach you?" Because it sounded kinda like a home ec type of bit. I don't know, some class, I don't remember. He goes to Central in El Centro, California. And, he says, "Oh, they just teach you, like, how to be, responsible with your finances." And I was like, "Well, thank God," because I feel like that would have been so helpful, like, to be like, "Hey, um, you know, this is what you have to look for to freaking work and taxes and, how to save your money and do this and that." But, like, it's just crazy to me how that is not included in the curriculum. I don't know if it's maybe one of those things where, like, the parents don't want you to learn sex ed type of thing, and the parents don't want you to learn how to handle your money. I don't know.
I don't
So,
know
who
if
knows?
also, like
But
I don't know if it's also too overwhelming for somebody that age. Like, I think it should be introduced, but at the same time, like, girl, if you would have told me that, like, when I was in high school, I might not have listened. Like, I was a rebel. Like,
yeah, it could be.
I only wanted to learn
No,
what I
no,
wanted to
of
learn, you know?
course.
And
Mhm.
I did. Like, I remember going when I was like sometime in high school, I got taken through one of the work programs that I was in. I got taken to like San Diego State University and they showed us how
Mhm.
to like be entrepreneurs and how to do like investments and stuff like that. Girl, it flew over my head. Like in that moment I learned, but afterwards I forgot. Like I don't know. I don't
How do you
remember
apply
how
it?
to do
Yeah, you
any of that.
can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like how do you apply it? At that time, my
Mhm.
mentality and my focus was I'm gonna go to school. Everybody's been ingraining in my
Mhm.
head that if I go to school, I'm gonna be successful and I'm gonna be great. Had
Right.
I known what was gonna happen to me at school and how I was gonna come back and all that struggle, girl, I would have been like, "No, fuck it, I should have been
Right.
an entrepreneur." Like I mean, I
Right,
am
right,
Yeah,
right,
I'm
yeah.
glad I finished my schooling and all that stuff, but just the way that my path went was just not, even if you would have introduced that to me then, it wouldn't have been something that would have been, like, engraved in me, you
Yeah.
know? I think it's something that needs to be continuous, and I think it's also something that's learned by experience. So, like, unless you have somebody telling
definitely.
you, "Hey, this is how your credit works, and this is how you're supposed to do your taxes, and this is how taxes work." And, even now, like, that's what I dedicate my work
Mhm,
to, and, and it's hard to make people
Mhm,
understand, like, how that works. Um,
mhm.
because it's boring. Because it's boring, because it's not something that people can get passionate about.
For sure.
I mean,
And
it's
because it's
boring, but oh my god, like, if
yeah, it's just stressful. It's what it is, like, people don't wanna have to deal with something that causes them so much stress. So it's hard to get, but then you meet some people and they're just like,
Mhm.
"Money makes the world go round. Money comes to me easily every day, and I make, I'm banking in,
Mhm.
like, 6 figures like nothing, like butter." And you're like, "Damn, how
Right,
do I do that?" Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
crazy.
right?
hard. And then you get to that, um, "Could I afford this? Do I need it? Do I really need it?" Like, it's like something that was the most annoying thing to me ever. Because my mom would be like, "But do you need it?" And I'd be like, "Yes, like, I really need this lip gloss," type of shit.
Girl.
And now it's like I'm like, "Do I if I buy back box mashed potatoes, it's gonna last longer than the fucking real potatoes because we don't really eat
No, hell
potatoes."
no.
Or like, something like that, right? So,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's crazy, like, when we were in El Centro, it was like we paid so much for the Montessori, and we freaking ate out all the time, and I would go to Starbucks every day, multiple times a day. I iba por mi Starbucks for my freaking tea from the donut shop. I'd get my hair done, all kinds of stuff. And it's like here, I'm like, girl, ya me quité los nails. Like, no more nails.
You're
Like,
like,
my
"That's
hair,
it."
I had to use a box to it the other time for my roots. And I feel like it was so fucking humbling for me. I make dinner and food almost every day. So I'm
Nice.
just like, and then, like, I tell Eric, like, like, and, like, my other friend makes fun of me because I tell him I'm like, "I'm already humble, but now I feel like it's been a more humbling experience." And he's like, "Girl, you're far from humble, okay?" Because one time I told him, "I'm so humble," and he looked at me because we were at Conchita's buying a tea, and I told him, "I'm so humble." And he's like, "You're at Conchita's with a Gucci bag buying a tea at Conchita's, girl." I was
You're
like,
like,
"That shows you that I'm humble, okay?"
yeah.
And like, he doesn't
I
like, that's what he always tells me. But anyways, I feel like it was very humbling to just kind of change from like that, just like kind of staying home, and I'm sure that's normal for everybody. Everybody probably fucking stays home and makes their meals at home and fucking makes their coffee at home. But for me, it wasn't. And so now, like, it's more of like, I don't want to say that I didn't appreciate it because I do. Like, I literally, I would always, like, my dad was working in the field for years. We were migrant kids. Like, we would go to Salinas every summer. My mom worked as, like, in the medical field. And so I don't feel like we were ever poor. But according to my sisters, they were like, "Hello, like, grandma used to make us our clothes. That's why we all had matching clothes." But I never felt
yeah.
that way, and I feel like I didn't want my kids to feel that way either. So even if it is a little treat or something, I try to get it at least for them, and it just becomes like a whole thing. Like, it's part of also being like a mother, right? You're gonna let your kids have that little treat, and then I'll sneak my Starbucks in later when I go get gas or something.
Yeah.
But it's been like a whole, like, transition for me, like, mentally, physically, spiritually,
Yeah.
and it's just so crazy, like, how money, or, like, the whole thing of it, it just it fucks with your whole life and your mood and everything, like, it's just crazy.
How's Cooper
How's the
doing?
baby?
They're gonna keep him. So I guess he has like a hot spot, they said, and they're gonna check out to see what's going on, and they have to put him under
Suero
because
and antibiotics?
hmm
Mm. Well, they have to put him
but
under to
he's
clean it all out, no?
yeah, just to clean it all out. So they're gonna keep him
Mhm.
overnight, and he'll be okay. But he's like, it's just that area, and that thank goodness that we took him in when we did. So that's it.
Oh, good.
Gotta keep an eye on it. Yeah, so we'll get him tomorrow. But that's it with that. And then see,
Mm.
that goes back to the money situation. Because literally, we were thinking, okay, when do we take the dog? I don't get paid until next Friday. You don't get paid until the 30th. We only have enough money for antibiotics and pain reliever for sure, and well, anesthesia. But he can't stay overnight, which we're gonna have to borrow money to be able to, you know what I mean? So all of that goes back into the same of we have the money to take our dog to go to the vet. We're not like, in the rocks and, trying to
No.
figure it out and making ends meet. But I'm still trying to juggle what bill I'm going to have to delay, paying and what thing I'm going to have to go without this weekend or adjust my plans to incorporate this little emergency and just pray and light candles that I'm gonna have to buy at the Dollar Tree that nothing else happens, and that my car's okay and because I can't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't do it more. So that goes back into the same of like feeling a little guilty because you can't really complain that, I'm trying to make ends meet and there's so many people out there that literally don't have shit. Don't have shit.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
then, damn, like, I feel guilt for complaining, but then also, like, I can be sad too, you know? That'd be okay.
I think
So
I
it's a
think it's
whole thing.
important also to realize that, like, one, comparison is a thief of joy. So if you're comparing yourself to
Right,
anybody, whether they be rich or
right.
whether they be poor, it's always going to make
Well,
you fucking sad.
always gonna be a bad day.
Um,
Mhm.
just worry. You should be worrying about yourself and how you feel in those moments because it's valid. It doesn't make it invalid if you do
Always.
feel like shit or if you do feel like, hey, like envious about, hey, I need to be bettering myself to get to that.
Mhm,
I want to take trips too, shit, like, but also,
mhm,
you never know what somebody else is going through. You could be seeing that like they are, um living lavishly or that they could be buying like I don't know properties and shit here and there, but you don't know what really is going on behind the stress of somebody getting to that point. You don't see them working double jobs or having a job and then like a hustle on the side or anything like that. So and then also like two things can be true at the same fucking time. Like you could feel bad about
mhm,
complaining about where you are financially and how stressed you are, and also still feel fucking bad for the people that aren't maybe as well off as you. Um, it
Mhm.
mhm.
sucks, but it's
I
unfortunate,
know.
and money
I mean,
money
I think it's
makes
just
everybody crazy. That's just the way that it is.
it does. It
In
really
so many
does.
ways, yeah. In so many ways.
It really
And I think
does.
it all goes back into finding your own people and I think that that is a key thing is finding like-minded people in terms of your relationship with money and how you use it, how you take care of it, how you compare other people who, your life with it or measure your life or your relationships with it and keeping yourself with like-minded people that are positive and I don't know just kind of not giving with their money but giving with their empathy about it
Yeah.
and about your plight and your situations so it's
Uh-huh.
important.
I know. I always try, like I'm always like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just, like, a very giving person in general, like, even if I have, like, money or if I don't, like, if I'm with a friend or if I even, like there's sometimes where I'm at the grocery store and, like, there's a viejito that doesn't have, like, 50 cents and, like, I wanna pay for his groceries too, like, I just feel so bad, and not because I feel bad for a friend or somebody that I invite to lunch or whatever, but just because I feel like if I have it right now, I'm gonna use it. Like, I'm not really like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pay for myself, and then, like, later on, I'll see." Like, no, I'm just like, if I have it, and I'll do it because you don't ever know what that person's situation is, especially if you invite somebody. And then, like, it's just a lot of, like, um I feel like, even, like, social media is horrible because content creators will be like, "I'm doing my content. I'm making so many thousands, and I'm this, and I'm that." Like, no fucking content creator, it's very rare, is gonna be like, "Oh, I'm eating out of the trash today." I have seen some, don't get me wrong, but it's, like, not as much as, like, okay, like, I love realtors, but a lot of them are like realtors. 'Cause I don't know if it's because I follow a lot of them, but they're like, they show off like their nice cars and this and that. And like,
Right.
that's great. Great. I'm so happy for you. But there's some people that I'm like, not necessarily the realtors, but some people I see on social media that I kind of like follow. And then like I see kind of backstories on them that I'm like, girl, like your husband just, they just caught this, like, let's just say example. There's like this girl I used to follow because she was part of this MLM, one of the many MLMs that I used to be part of. And she was like the go-to person. Everybody was like, she kind of became part of like the company and they were like, she's a great content creator, follow her and do this and that. And then later on, like 2 years later, she came out saying like that her husband was like a drug addict and that he would abuse her and like that this and this, and she's getting a divorce, and she like finally started talking about how, I used to make this content, but it wasn't true. Like I was making this content kind of because I wanted to live like in a fantasy world type of thing because X, Y, and Z was going on. So I feel like a lot of the times people are gonna feel like they don't have money or like they need to have more money to keep up with the Joneses or whatever because they see shit that's posted on social media or things that are going on. And like it's like sucks because I wish everybody had the mentality of like, who gives a shit? Because a lot of people don't. And it like I feel sometimes you should.
Right, right. At least, and at the very least, if you're gonna be who gives a shit about something, at least say honestly throughout, like,
Mm-hmm.
what it is, you know? If you wanna say, "I wanna show off this kind of lifestyle because that's what I wanna, like, manifest," fuck it, like, say so. I think my issue tends to be with, or not issue, I guess, but my discomfort tends to be with people who use wealth as, or income as a way to measure a person's character and whether I'm going to interact or whether I'm going to give you a certain version of myself because, well, your income brackets and under the 200% federal poverty guideline, kind of thing. Like, it's not okay. And that's the shit that irks me, where I also get that disconnect with that run for money, like, I'm not for it.
Yeah, I will say like I've never been the type of person to buy myself um like expensive like shit to show off to people. Like I've never been like the type of person that like values that kind of stuff and like wants to be like feel important because of it, you know? Like I mentioned earlier, like I'm the type of person that will go to a secondhand store and like refurbish like a
Yeah,
piece of wood or something like
yeah.
that to use in my house. But that being said, like everybody has their things. Like right now, my thing is fucking rocks. Like I've been buying rocks like a crazy person.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
it wasn't until somebody found value in the things that I make that I was just like, "Hey, you know what? I should sell this because not only is it feeding my habit, but
Yeah,
maybe I could envision it into a business structure or something that can contribute to my
yeah, let it
my
feed your
house, my
kids too, that'd be
household."
nice.
Yeah. But I've also realized that, like, I'm really bad, like, I'm bad at pricing shit, like, I'm bad at, like, selling things because I just wanna give things to people and gift it to people, and, I'm not saying that I'm, like, a saint
Yeah.
because, girl, like, there are some people I don't want it I'm like, I don't want them to buy my thing. What I'm saying is, like, I have realized, though, that, like, as much as I wanna be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like, I'm true to myself and whatever," like, I do wanna make this a business, and I also don't wanna affect somebody else's business because I realized that, like, people will compare the cost of what you're selling to other people, And it would be super messed up of me to be like pricing something just because I maybe undervalue my own self, or because I just
Mhm.
don't um I'm not money hungry, or because I just don't fucking know how to, because that's like the mera neta
Mhm.
is that I don't know how to. And
Mhm.
and it's not fair. It's not fair to other people to undersell that stuff, because then you're really bringing down the market of the value of what they do and what they sell. So I just been trying to find a balance and trying to make it work so that I can have it generate money instead of bleed out money. So and that's hard. And I think that's applicable to a lot of the things that we do, and a lot of the things, like for example, even grocery fucking shopping. We're as like a 5-6 person household. Every time we go to a grocery store, it's like $400 or $500. And I do
Mhm.
not
Right.
buy like only like aged cheeses. Like, no, I go to fucking Kroger. I go to I go buy
It's all
things
about
in
Kroger
bulk. Like,
and great
yeah,
value.
like
Yes.
yes, like I do not. It's just that it's so many of us, and inflation has really fucking just put a boot on our necks on how expensive everything is. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, I don't know. I think we're living in a different time too. I think like um
Oh, yeah.
before they would encourage us to like, oh, you have to do better because you're gonna be able to buy a house and buy a car and buy this and that. And now we're living in a fucking reality where we're in like the middle generation of like if you can, if you could, you could, and if you can, you're gonna be indebted for the next 40 fucking years. Like there's a big disparity in how we were
Right. Yep.
raised to think, and where we are as a generation in trying to fucking survive. It's crazy
Absolutely.
and stressful, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I always was like pressured because because my dad grew up working. So he literally quit school in 6th grade and he worked in the fields and he freaking sang and sold chicles on the bus in Mexicali. Like, he had like a big family, like 7 or 8 brothers. I think they had brothers and sisters. And so he was the oldest and he obviously had to help my grandma work in the field. They all worked in the field. But then like you have my mom and she, went to school and she, it was like complete opposite. So growing up, it was always like, why are you wasting your time in school? You're like, you need to find a job from your dad. And then it's like from my mom's side, it was like, go to school because if you the more you study, the more like you,
Mhm.
you'll have money and this and that. And it's like, it's a very different time now because there's content creators, there's all kinds of entrepreneur opportunities. And like I've discovered that, because I had like my cake business for a while there, and I also had issues with pricing. I feel like I would price low sometimes, but I was like, hey, that's kind of like what people can afford right now. I can pay a little bit more, that's okay, even though that's like the opposite of a business, like, I was
Mhm.
losing money, but, I feel like I had, like, my loyal clients that regardless, they would tip me very well or they would always order from me, and for me, like, for them to be consistently ordering, that meant more to me than to, like, overcharge for 1 or 2 people I was never gonna order again, you know?
Right.
Right.
And it's just like, to me, it's just like, I've noticed like, I was able to get a decent job, you know, with not even I feel like I went backwards because I started making, like as a medical assistant working for an FQHC, I made, like, 16 to $20 an hour back in, like, 2015 or 16. When I started finally working for my first corporate job, it was, like it literally jumped from, like, $16 to, like, $28 an hour. And that was just kinda like a valley thing to me because it was like it was somebody that I knew. I didn't have a bachelor's, I didn't have a degree. It's not until I kinda started getting experience in the corporate world that I decided to get my bachelor's, I decided to get my master's. And now that I'm getting my master's, I feel like, okay. I got my master's, and the money is maybe right now because I just got it is not, the bracket is not as much, but it eventually I'm hoping it will be. But I feel like, obviously there's content creators and people doing other stuff that they're making like more money, and it all goes back to like the social media thing. Like that's supposedly what they show you. I mean, how many times are you there and it's like make $5,000 from home in 2 minutes from your phone, you know?
Jesus.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
pues donde? Like where?
Where do I sign up? You're gonna
Yeah,
te van a robar, Jesse.
I'll try everything once,
Yeah.
girl.
That's
No.
how we were talking
See,
earlier how like we're
yeah.
afraid of like being like what is it? Like fooled into a cult. But I don't think Jessie would be fooled into a cult. She'd be fooled into like another pyramid
No.
scheme and then bring us along with
A
her.
pyramid scheme for
She'd be like,
sure.
"I signed you up." Like, what
Yeah,
was
and
it
then
last year? She was signing us up for the what
Somehow.
is it? The share. What are the timeshares? The timeshare presentations. I was like, "Excuse me, what? We're gonna go
the
where?"
timeshare presentations,
Wait, where are we going? What are we doing?
that was for a discount, girl.
Girl.
And then I went in and I saw the hotel and I was like, "No, I'm going to Airbnb. Fuck this."
Dude, see, I grew up. I mean, my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom for her 10 years of her marriage. She divorced and she was left with like zero, zip, nada. She went to study, got a course in accounting class, and from there got a full-time job, and then just stuck at that job for like 20 freaking years or 19 years, you know? And that's I just led by example. I honestly, I mean, I had high hopes to go a lot of places, but at the end of the day, how was I gonna go away to college and leave my mom here and my brothers and for other reasons, you know? So I followed her example and I went straight into the workforce and I put my head down and I started hustling and I never looked back up, you know? And I also like I mean, I never got my degree to this day, and I don't have a timeline to go back to school. And at this point, I don't know if I ever will. I mean, I feel like I've had two different careers without any type of degree. Both careers required a degree. And I managed to go up that ladder, and I'm okay with that being my life, you know, because I do go up that ladder. I do have that drive and that ambition, and I mean, I'll toot my own horn, and I don't feel like there's any place that you can put me where I'm not going to be able to excel. So fuck it, that's my life, you know. If at some point, some degree, something really catches my eye, maybe I'll go back to school. But I also feel like with the current atmosphere and climate, I don't feel it's necessary anymore because
Dude,
of the
it's so
content creators,
expensive.
because of all these opportunities of
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Like your shit can go off, Melissa, and you can end up like, you know, on Etsy and selling all this kind of stuff and end up in like huge markets and, you know, like just out of nowhere. And I'm manifesting that shit. And, you know, it's important. And I just for me, I feel there are a lot of opportunities. I just need that fire under my ass to go out and find it, you know? Like that's just where
I
it's
will
at.
say that like I think that a lot of the things that I've kind of been on the edge for to like on the precipice
Mm,
of like something greater, grander, ideas that have just been like meddling in my head that I wanted to manifest. I don't think that if I didn't have people pushing me to do it and supporting me to do it, um I don't think I would have been bold enough to try. Um and that
absolutely.
includes fucking everything like
Absolutely. Share that
I know
for
that
sure.
I'm a very, like, strong-willed person, and I know that anything that I become determined to do, I'll fucking just do because that's just in my nature,
Mhm.
but I give
Yeah.
my full attention to those things, and I think that I things get fucking muddled and lost, especially, like, with me like, when I had my kids, I lost a lot of myself and my ambition and my drive and my fucking energy.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I think that,
I'm like,
like, wi
"Mhm. Girl, I lost my
um
bladder control."
Yes. Um, but I think it's the people that really fucking believed in me that were there to
Mhm.
remind me that I'm that fucking bitch, like
For real.
Yes, girl.
All day, every day.
without that, I don't think I would have been able to fucking go back and finish school. I wouldn't have been promoted multiple times in my fucking career. I wouldn't have been over here trying to start fucking side quests. No, like I wouldn't have been able to fucking figure out how to fucking buy a home. Like, and I and I
For sure.
and I love my husband, and you know, I can honestly say that we don't have a lot of altercations where it comes to money. We're not the best
Mhm.
off financially either, you know, but it's just
Mhm.
not often a situation that creates like any kind of arguments in our household, and I think that's super important. I wish we could communicate more about our finances, and I think that would probably squash a lot of the issues that we have. But because we're both so
Mhm.
fucking independent, I'm afraid that it's gonna become a conflict because we both have our own ways of like how we take care of our finances. But that's a whole
Right.
nother episode, girl. Like that's
What I
that's
say?
all that
What
is
I
all
say?
That's
I
a
will
whole
say
nother
is that
That
like
episode.
too,
without
girl.
his like I know what I guess what I'm trying to say is like I know he's got my back and I have his, and I know that you guys
For
Mhm.
have
sure.
my back, and without that fucking support I don't think that I even and I'm not saying like you guys pay for all my shit because you guys pay for my lunches and when we get together and you guys buy my
Yeah.
shit and stuff like that. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, like, you guys are the wind beneath my wings, like, when I'm fucking stressed out, when I'm like,
For
"Dude, like, how am I gonna fucking pay
sure.
this bill?" Like, my fucking
Mhm.
AC broke down, and I don't know how I'm gonna fucking pay that shit, like, you guys are the ones that I run to be, like, venting about that shit, to kind
Mhm.
of, like, hash it out, and talking about
That's
it
important
sometimes
too.
mediates a situation, like, and you guys are like, "Hey, did you check your insurance? Did you do this? Did you" like, before you start fucking crying about it and, like, like, just arguing about it with somebody, like, sometimes you need to have those conversations even though they might feel a little bit
Oh, yeah.
like something you're embarrassed about or something that is taboo or something that is not something that you're used to talking about because if you're not having those conversations, if you're not setting yourself up for that kind of like support system, then you're it's too much. It's too much to deal with. It's too much anxiety, it's too much stress, it's too much of a burden. You get overwhelmed, like you really do.
It's a very overwhelming. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I mean, thank God, I feel the same way. I feel like there's nothing in this group that's, like, taboo that we could talk about. I feel like
Right.
everything's pretty much,
Yeah, and
good
then I will
with
say
us.
there's nothing taboo, but we don't always have as many opportunities to vent to each other about, like, shit that we have
Mhm.
going on with money specifically, because we vent about other stuff too, but maybe we leave certain topics off on the wayside. Not
Yeah.
purposefully maybe, but not because we're all, "Oh, I'm excited to talk about all my fucking money problems." You know, like,
Right,
I wanna
right.
talk about it. But also,
Yeah.
it's important to talk about. It's important to share because we are in the same boat. And not just the 3 of us. It's a huge fucking boat, you know? It's a huge.
Right.
It's a lot.
It's the
A lot, and
Titanic,
it's
girl.
important to know that girl,
El
it's important
Titanic.
to be able to share it with each other and be able to be real with each other so that we're, like, preparing a Kroger and Equate meal, damn it, and not expecting all this
Yes.
Yeah,
Tillamook shit.
Yes.
Yes.
right.
And that's okay. And if you
But
have that friend group that's or that one friend, it's not to be a group, that's great because
mhm.
it's needed to stay sane. And we try and I feel like we're gonna have potlucks. We're gonna freaking I'll bring the food this time, or we're gonna do this, or we're gonna freaking make each other Christmas present, or we're not getting Christmas presents, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
to me, it's
Right.
I
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
have you guys
absolutely.
happy and sane than to have a
Yeah,
gift,
for
okay?
sure.
Maybe a little insane, but as long as you're happy, we're good.
I mean, that's okay too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think we're coming to an end on the
Yes, ma'am.
time. So do you guys have anything that you wanna say before we end?
You go first,
Um,
Melissa.
I wanna say I think that, like, I appreciate a lot of the knowledge that I got from my older coworkers of, like, how to, handle some of my, like, insurance issues and some of, like, my retirement programs through work and stuff like that, but there's a lot of programs that are offered out there for financial advice, for, legal advice, um, for even retirement advice and stuff like that. And I would encourage you guys to kinda, like, sit in and seek like, if there's something in particular that you're wanting to get information on, check with your employers, check with some of the insurance companies that they have, check to see with your banks even, even, like, small business development centers.
Mhm.
There's, like, free courses, dude, that I
Mhm.
wish I would've, like, really, like, tapped into, and I still
Yeah,
plan to tap into. But definitely yeah, definitely tap into that. Check him out. Attend one. I think it'll be more helpful than you think.
I'm all for that. And also be kind to yourself because not everybody has their shit together when it comes to money, even if they portray a certain image like they do.
Mhm.
They have fucking just gum and paper clips in that Coach bag, believe me. Um, no, but seriously, like it's looks can be deceiving, and be kind to yourself and look inward before you're comparing, what another person has and, et cetera, et cetera. Just be kind. What about
Kind
you?
and be grateful as much as you can. Well, if you needed permission today to admit that I'm not broke, but I'm not okay either, this is definitely the episode. You're not failing, you're not weak, and you're definitely not alone. So I hope that we touched on some, issues that everybody's having. And if we're not, or if there's something else that you want to hear us talk about, we're okay with talking about several topics. So just let us know in the comments. And if you feel like this episode helped you, or if you know of a friend that you feel it could help, please share. Share, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So remember, we're not doing this perfectly. We're doing it together and we are just winging it. So, all right, girls,
Night. Bye.
Bye.
good night.